Yeah, I think LSG season has to be considered as a successful one. Reaching the top four, the playoffs, in a 10-team tournament is a good achievement, backing up what they've done in the previous season. They're a new team into the IPL as well, so there's consistency there, but I'm sure they'd like to take that one step further. Looking at things they did well, I think showing consistency with selection. For instance, Kyle Mayers at the top of the order kept his position in the side when Quinton de Kock came as an established IPL superstar, but they stuck with the form of Kyle Mayers. I thought that showed, good, solid management, and they then obviously made the change after a period of time when Mayers lost a little bit of form. I think, again, the role clarity and the consistency of the position of Stoinis and Pooran in the middle overs, making sure that they had the impact they did and they delivered for LSG throughout the tournament, and both came up with, a number of match-winning performances. And I think the management of their fast bowlers, I think, they had the issue with Mark Wood and his availability from time to time, but I think Naveen coming in to that role, I think he performed exceptionally well, so that was also good. They also finally had the, distraction of losing their captain, Rahul, and I thought Krunal did a good job in the absence of the more experienced captains. So they had a few things happening for them, and I thought they were certainly some of the positives. Yeah, I feel there's no doubt that Rahul's presence would have made a significant difference, particularly going into the back end of the season. His experience and the volume of runs that he produced at the top of the order is very, very difficult to replace. We saw them try a number of makeshift openers in his absence that didn't work, but a big player, experienced player like Rahul would have stepped up to that opportunity and definitely scored a couple of half centuries at least in that back end for them. I think the thing that really stands out for me that LSG's missing is a little bit of depth of quality on their Indian batting front. So that's something they need to look at closely, because they do heavily rely on just overseas batters. And sometimes in Indian conditions that can, be challenging for you, particularly at their home venue, where we surprisingly saw many slow surfaces that turned, and it's normally the Indian batters that can manage that situation better than the overseas players. So certainly, some investment in some Indian batters would be definitely one thing they could look at. Yeah, I think Avish Khan and Deepak Hooda obviously had disappointing seasons, but firstly with Avish Khan, I'd be tempted to persevere with him because, Indian pace bowlers of quality are, I suppose, far and few between, and with only one more year left in this auction cycle, I'd be sticking with him and backing the fact that he's going to come back stronger, because he's had more good seasons than poor seasons. Deepak Hooda certainly had a season to forget. And again, I think that is one that I'd probably closely look at reviewing to whether you'd put him back into the auction and use those funds, elsewhere, whether it be to try to find another established batsman that's been released from another franchise, or possibly look at a trade opportunity where you might be able to get another player, because obviously if the surface is going to stay the same at Lucknow, it doesn't suit Deepak Hooda's game. I think on the bowling standpoint, it would have to be Bishnoi. I thought his ability to impact games was superb throughout the season. He changed the course of a number of games with his bowling and his wicket taking. So I think again he's had another season, a positive season for him. And on a batting standpoint, there's a couple, but I think probably Nicholas Pooran, purely on the basis of high strike rate, again just short of 400 runs, striking over 170, won a number of games with the bat, and also coming with that heavy price tag. When he was put back into the auction by SRH, he got picked up for a huge amount of money, and there's pressure in that. So he seemed to be able to sort of weather all those pressures and still deliver with a consistent season.